Welcome back to the next level at PAX East 2014. My name is Chase Straight, and I'm working on a really sweet game called AirMech Arena. Now, before I introduce my special guest here, I'd like to point out that we are giving out special exclusive PAX East codes for the game in the chat right now. You can check that out and pick up a sweet mech and a pet. Now, I've got two really cool guys with me here today. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
My name is James Green. I'm the creative director of Carbon Games, and AirMech is my baby.
My name is Duncan. I'm CEO and co-founder of Scuf Gaming.
Now, before we hear more about your awesome Scuf controllers, James, this game has been out for a little bit, and now we're bringing it to Xbox 360, but it was originally designed with the gamepad in mind. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
That's right, Chase. From day one, I had an Xbox 360 controller on my desk, just because personally I love playing this game with the gamepad, because I thought that you need to be able to play an RTS on the console in a fluid way. Like everything else feels like a weird retrofit for me. This is day one from a design directives that it must play well with the gamepad. And I've been really happy with the way it's turned out, and I'm so excited to bring it to console now.
Well, yeah, and because it's kind of like an RTS MOBA hybrid, people don't usually think of the gamepad when they think of a game like this. Like why is it special for AirMech?
Well, it's a different pace of game where you're actually directly picking up the units and aiming and shooting. So having that analog control over your AirMech and being able to shoot and move and fluidly go through the air, the dogfighting, it feels really great. Some people swear by the mouse and keyboard. On the PC, we've seen a lot of that. But I mean, on my desk, on every developer of AirMech's desk is a 360 gamepad, and we just love it. It's the way to play the game.
That's super cool. Now, Duncan. Tell us a little bit more about Scuf Gaming, and I think we have a video for one of your hybrid controllers. But what's Scuf all about?
Yeah, sure. We actually we re-engineered the gaming controller to try and allow gamers to use more of their hand. So in the traditional sense of the word, you only essentially use your two thumbs and your two fingers here to control a gamepad, and you've got to control about 20 plus functions. So what we went about doing about 3 years ago is we designed and patented paddles on the back of a controller that allows you to utilize more of your hand. The purpose of it really is that if you think about jumping over to A, B, X, Y, D-pad, LB, you're using you're losing a lot of time there, and the ability to show your dexterity is limited. So this allows you to bridge using the paddles that whole keyboard and mouse experience moving over to controller. So it's a nice bridge for PC gamers moving into console, and it works very well for AirMech, I think, too. Yeah, so the paddles.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so beyond just being able to use more of your hands, there's a few other design changes that you made to the controllers too, right? Like it just when you're holding it, like it totally feels different.
Yeah. So if you think about a traditional Xbox controller, then they've done a great job on designing the Xbox controller, and the ergonomics of the handles are very well done. But normally you hold your hands here like this, and they wrap around. As soon as we put the paddles on the back, it actually lifts these two fingers off. So there's a requirement to actually hold the controller in a different way. What that means is that you've got less of your hand to hold it. If you look at the Scuf, you can actually hold it here with two fingers because we've got a much more aggressive angle. We've put some very high-grade rubber grips on the side here. And then you're actually able to use these fingers, free them up, hop across to the other paddles, which can control more functions. So you get that nice ability to tailor your experience.
Yeah, they just feel nice. I mean, when you say, James, like the first time you picked up one of these, you just sort of like go, it feels really nice.
Oh, yeah, it was great. It's actually... the first time I picked up one of these controllers was here at the show because, to be honest, myself and I'm sure a lot of other gamers out there too, you hear about aftermarket controllers and you're like, I mean, the 360 controller is pretty much perfection. Why mess with it? When I picked this up, I was sort of shocked. I was like, wow, the general shape and layout is the exact same as the 360 controller that you know and love, but the premium feel of the materials, like on the face, on the back, like I said, the back is actually totally redesigned and has a different groove for your fingers. I already like it better, just using it, in a short amount of time, and it feels great. Like the touch of this, what did you say? It's TPU material on the back?
It's very high-grade rubber, yeah.
I don't know. It just feels great. It's such a premium experience, and I'd love to get this in the hands of everybody who's playing because it gives you that real competitive advantage. Like when we're designing the game of AirMech, for being able to reach all the buttons while you're using the dual analog stick, like that was a big design challenge. We did a pretty good job, I think, but I almost feel like this might be cheating if you're using this controller because you totally do not have to take your thumbs off to access all those face buttons. It's really an amazing design, and I love these little thumb screws here to get those like lightning triggers on the.
They're all competition approved and everything. So we do partner with all the professional gaming organisations out there because one of the important things for us is to ensure that they're legally approved. Yeah.
So I love that we have some Scuf Gaming fans in the crowd while we're sitting over here. People coming out like,
that was Optic Hex.
Love the controllers. So we heard about the game. We heard about the controllers. Now bringing it together, I'm really excited. To especially bring you guys together because obviously there's a lot of passion here for this. How are these controllers going to let AirMech players take things to the next level? Like how the next level, right? Boom, boom, boom. How are they going to use it to be the top competitive players in AirMech?
I mean, I know if I put this controller in the hands of our top players, that a lot of them already use gamepad to start with. They will start saying they've got too much of an advantage. And you're saying what? It's like 80% of the competitive like Call of Duty players will gravitate towards this?
In the shooter market, yeah.
I could see the same thing for AirMech players, like totally. Like I know on the PC side they're going to be clamoring for it, and even on the console side, this is like a gameplay advantage almost. It's really sweet. You gotta hold.
But it makes sense, doesn't it, James? I mean, we were talking about it earlier, and our vision was always when we first invented Scuf was always to allow gamers to utilize more of the hand because it makes no sense just using 2 thumbs, 2 fingers.
No, it's
a bit like touch typing with 2 thumbs, 2 fingers. You'd never do it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I do, but
I wonder if it would even help people that have trouble, just grabbing the controller in a normal way. Like it could have accessibility.
We've got war vets that have used it, who've had hand injuries and things that can actually utilize the underside. People who've got weak thumbs, and one of the main features that's really important is you don't have to do claw. Because people do this action that's called claw here, and that causes major strain and injuries down your hands, especially when you hit your mid to late 20s.
Yeah, I mean, we've done some work with the Able Gamers Foundation that they try to help accessibility for gamers and stuff. And I don't know if you've talked to them yet, but I bet they would love to discuss how this might help some of their players.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. Well, so now that you've had some time to spend, playing the game here at PAX East with the controller, what functions within the game do you think are going to be improved by using this? Specifically, what are some of the actions from your mechs that you think people are going to get an advantage from?
Just timing, I think, because you can now access like all the special abilities and things like repeat building units and stuff without taking your hands off the analog sticks. So you can be constantly shooting. I think you might even have an advantage over mouse and keyboard, in that terms of what you can do at the same time. Because that's the one thing that mouse and keyboard players say, well, I can still do this on the mouse and keyboard because I've got more keys. Well, I've always liked the gamepad because you've got the dual analog sticks. Like just having that freedom of movement is so precise and it feels great. So now this might even be better than that. It's like the best of both worlds. You've got the accessibility and you've got the smooth movement. So I'm really excited about this.
It's a viable option. Yeah.
I'm stealing a number of these to take back with me.
Yeah, we're huge Scuf Gaming fans now. Duncan, what was the first thing that you saw about the game? I mean, when we first talked, you were very excited about working with us because typically you guys have been using sort of like the FPS market, so this was kind of like a new area, right?
Yeah, well, it's always nice to see when you move into different verticals in the gaming industry. It's nice to see the ability for the controller to be used with other games, and you need fast-paced games in order to actually really get advantage of the paddles. So when I played AirMech and looked at the different functions that you use, then there's definitely that delay in being able to get some of the face buttons. So being able to use the paddles when you pick up and drop, then that really helps, yeah.
So that's probably similar for any competitive game. You say all the high competitive games, you're at the, like you mentioned, the claw. Like people have these really crazy things they do to get any slight advantage they can in the game. Absolutely. And that's where you see like this really take off.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it was really nice to see the functions. You're rushing around, and we were talking about you can actually spot someone who's playing with a controller over someone who's using keyboard and mouse, because keyboard and mouse, they're much more the angle, whereas the controller, it's more
you can
smooth.
definitely see they're in one of those 8 directions, and when they're playing with the analog sticks, it's much more fluid. Like the dogfighting especially, I see people with the gamepad a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think people overall? What do you think is their favorite thing about using the gamepad with the game over using the mouse and keyboard?
It feels great. So the only argument I might get from some players are like, well, I've got more control and I've got these hotkeys and stuff, but nobody will argue it doesn't feel better because it feels great to have the controller in your hand, and there's no compromises. It's not like you're playing an FPS where you might say, oh, you're giving up a large amount of precision. It's like, no, it's not that. Anyway, AirMech is free to play, so you can try it for yourself. it's hard just to say believe me when it just feels
Right,
better.
right, yeah,
But
absolutely.
it does feel better. It
Yeah.
feels great to play in your hands with the controller.
And what percentage of players you say that are playing on the PC right now are already playing with a gamepad?
Oh, it's pretty low. It's only about 5%. I
Okay.
think there's larger than that have a gamepad, but they still don't click that they can. And it's kind of frustrating for me as a developer. Like, I play with this every day. I love it. It's just so it's really exciting to finally have it out on the console, because when it comes out this summer on Xbox 360, everybody will play with the gamepad the way it was meant to be played.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, AirMech Arena coming out on Xbox 360 this summer. You can go to airmecharena.com and sign up for some important announcements that we have coming in the next few months. Scuffedgaming.com to check out these awesome controllers. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. We're really excited to start playing on some of these Scuf controllers. Take it back to you guys.
Thanks, Chase. Thanks, James.